Good evening, everybody. Thank you for being here at a board meeting today. And so glad to see so many of my ex-students from Jefferson School. So like at least 5 of you here today. So nice to see you. All grown up and big kids. Opening items, call to order.
Good evening. Trustees present tonight are Trustee Contreras, Trustee Castillo, Trustee Calderon, and Trustee Aviña, with Trustee Arellano absent. We have a quorum.
Thank you. To Pledge of Allegiance. Will Gael lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you, Gael. All right. B, public hearings. The Board of Education will conduct a public hearing on the Local Control Accountability Plan, LCAP, and budget of the district for the 2026-2027 school year. So good evening. The time now is 5:07, and I will now open the public hearing on the Local Control Accountability Plan, LCAP, for the 2026-27 school year. This public hearing is being held in accordance with the California Education Code requirements to provide the public an opportunity to comment on the district's LCAP prior board adoption. At this time, we will receive any public comments regarding the 2026-27 LCAP. No comments? Closing of public hearing. Seeing that no further comments, I will now close the public hearing on the Local Control Accountability Plan for the 2026-27 school year. The time now is it's 5:02. It was not 5:07 when I opened it. It was 5:02. Okay. Item number 2. The Board of Education will conduct a public hearing to allow the public input regarding the district's proposed budget for the 2026-27 school year. Opening a public hearing. The time now is still 5:02, and I will now open the public hearing on the district's proposed budget for the 2026-27 school year. This public hearing is being held in accordance with the California Education Code requirements to provide the public an opportunity to comment on the district's proposed budget prior to final adoption. At this time, we will receive any public comments regarding the proposed 2026-27 district budget. No comments? Okay. Closing the public hearing. Seeing no further comments, I will now close the public hearing on the district's proposed budget for the 26-27 school year. The time now is 5:03. This item will be returned to the board for consideration for adoption. Okay. Presentations. Number 1, recognition of the Mesa boat competition winners. Mr. Jimenez, would you like to?
Thank you. Yes, absolutely, President Aviña. Thank you, Board of Trustees, ladies and gentlemen of our audience. It is my great honor, with a lot of excitement and a lot of pride, to present to our community tonight our Mesa boat winners. And you might be asking yourselves, what is that? What are the Mesa boat winners? So for that, I would like to ask our teacher from Willie Moreno and one of our advisors of the Mesa Club, Mr. Cesar Cano, if he could approach the... And as he's approaching, we do also have Dr. Rodrigo Figueroa, another teacher at Willie Moreno, and then also an advisor for Mesa who couldn't be with us here tonight, but he's very, very excited and very, very proud. And I know Mr. Cano is going to talk a little bit more about how Calexico Unified School District Mesa students took first place in the engineering award and third place in the Mesa board competition throughout all the high schools in the county. Mr. Cano? Oh, there's a green, a button.
That one. Oh. All right. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. So good afternoon, Mr. Jimenez. Good afternoon, Board of Trustees. So first of all, MESA is a program which is math, engineering, science, and achievement. right? So that just brings the basics of engineering to the students, right? And that leaves a pathway for them to be able to learn a lot, right? To be not able to learn a lot, but to experience learning in a different way, right? Learning on hands-on experience. So MESA has 3 competitions. First one is robotics. Second one is a MESA Day, which is a lot of different other competitions. And the last one to close off the day is the funnest one of all, is the boat competition, right? So the rules are they had to make a craft out of cardboard, just tape, and lastly they use a polyurethane layer, which is a waterproof layer, just to make the boat waterproof. That's all the rules, right? That's only 3 materials they could use. Other than that, nothing else, right? So they gotta try it, and they gotta actually paddle across our Central High School pool, right? So it was a competition not only between Calexico, but all Imperial Valley, right? Our Central, Imperial, Brawley, Westmoreland, they were all there. They all tried their boats out. I could proudly say that our teams or our groups were the only ones that made it. They were the only ones that made it across, right? All made it across without sinking, and proudly could say so all teams. It was about 5 teams that we raced. And from thank you. Yeah. Yeah, and aside from that, we almost cleared the whole house with all prizes. We got first prize, we got third prize, we got engineering prize, and we got perfect lab report as well. Right, we only didn't get second place. That was the only prize we were pending.
Excellent. So, Mr. Cano, excellent work. Thank you for all your leadership, your commitment, your passion. We know you do a lot of extra work outside of your classroom, above and beyond the call of duty. So thank you, and thank you also to Dr. Rodrigo. And I just want to tell you and our students here on the record that if I'm ever stuck in a deserted island, I want to be stuck with you guys, right? If I have to kind of like make a boat and go and find a civilization, I want to be with you guys. So at this point, Mr. Cano, I would like to ask our school board of trustees if they could come to the front of the dais. We do have certificates for our students in recognition of their accomplishments, and hopefully they feel very, very proud of themselves and our parents and families as well. So I will be calling their names.
I know, it was, I saw it.
So we start with Camila Zamudio. Yelena Romero. Okay. Victoria Gonzalez. Maribel de Los Ángeles. Wendy Covarrubias. Mia Alba. Isabela Pérez. Mariela Fernández. Leilani Delgado. And then, of course, Mr. Cesar Cano. And Dr. Rodrigo Figueroa. Camila Herrera. Camila Herrera. There we go. Did we miss anyone? That's the list we got. Is everyone for the Mesa Boat competition? ¿Nos faltó alguien? No? All right. Well, let's give our students another round of applause. And also Ms. Isaura Padillo, our fearless leader at Willie Moreno Junior High School, our principal. And I was informed that Ms. Victoria Gonzalez is going to share some words with us today. So, Ms. Gonzalez.
Yeah. Oh. Hi, my name is Victoria Gonzalez, and I'm proud of all of us winning this cardboard competition, even though we all had our ups and downs. We're in different groups, but we still managed to help each other as a club. I want to say thank you to my teammates and my club for always supporting me in my crazy ideas for fundraising money, restoring a popcorn machine that's older than us. And I just want to say thank you to you guys for always helping us and supporting us. So thank you. And there's a speech from one of my friends that couldn't come, Yelena Romero. She says, "Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to begin by expressing our sincere gratitude to our MESA instructor, Mr. Cano, for his words, support, and honest guidance through this journey. My team and I are incredibly honored to have won this competition, reaching first place in tremendous relief, especially after navigating the intense hard work, internal disagreements, and various obstacles along the way. Thank you all for gathering to celebrate this achievement with us. God bless every single one of you. Thank you."
And Board of Trustees, I think the future looks bright for Calexico Unified as some of our students are moving on to Calexico High School. And I would like to share that for the first time ever, our president, our student president for the Calexico High School Robotics Club is one of our young lady female students. So women in science, women in leadership. So mujeres al poder, right? Keep on going, girls. Keep on going. Thank you, President Aviña.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Cano. Great job. Great job, students. You know, I'm going to have a little side comment here. Mr. Cano, you one of the best hires I've ever done. I interviewed him when I was a teacher, principal at the junior high, and I knew you were going to do great things for kids, and I was right. Thank you so much for everything you do. Thank you. Thank you. Number 2, recognition of the IVC Math Festival winners.
Thank you, President Aviña. Continuing with our outstanding work that's taking place in Calexico Unified School District. At this time, I'd like to ask Ms. Elisa Ramirez to share some words regarding our IVC Math Festival winners. This too is a competition that is countywide, just like the Mesa Boat competition. And this tests math skills in algebra and geometry and other math areas. And we also took some of the top places throughout the county. And so, Elisa, if you could talk a little bit more about this.
Good evening.
Yes.
Good evening, Superintendent, trustees, and members of the public. Yes, I'm here to represent the math department for Calexico High School. Every year, Imperial Valley College hosts the annual IVC Math Festival competition. That has been taking place since I started teaching back in the 90s. So it's great to give information about our high school. The competition this year was held on May 22nd, 2026, and they compete with every single high school in the Imperial Valley. That includes Imperial, Brawley, Hopeville, and so forth. So we are very extremely happy about our students and teachers. They represented Calexico High School and the district. And so we're very proud of their excellence, their dedication, and their strong mathematical skills. The winners took first place in Algebra 1. We also took second place in Algebra 2. So we took first and second, Algebra 1. Then we obtained second place in Geometry, and we took second place in Algebra 2. So that's a lot of medals. A total of 12 students earned medals this year. You want me to name them?
Yeah, we could name it. And also would like to recognize Miss Elizabeth Palacios, who is our teacher and advisor. She couldn't make it with us tonight, but it also is very, very proud and very excited of the accomplishments of their work and of our students. So, yes, Miss, if we hear your name, I'd like to ask our board to come back up to the dais. Maybe you should have just stayed up there, you know. But if you could come back up to the dais, and Ms. Ramirez is going to call your name, students, and when you hear names, please come up.
So in algebra, first place, is it Jocelyn Alvarez? Or Josely Alvarez? Leah Martinez? And Max Mendoza. Second place in Algebra 1, Michelle Lee. Damian Recio. And Luis Zavala. Geometry, second place, Aile Yi. Sebastián García. And Noah Carrillo. Algebra 2, second place, Jimena Delgado. Joaquín Jaime. And Ibelis de la Paz. Congratulations, students. You made us very proud. And we hope that next year you compete and get first place everywhere. Anybody that we did not announce? Some of you might have to kneel in the front or just bend a little bit. Congratulations. Are they going to announce that they get deep now? See? We want to stay for the
At this time, parents and students that were just recognized, if you want to leave and exit, this is a good time, but you're welcome to stay. You know, our meetings are very exciting. So,
Thank you. Congratulations, ladies.
Muchísimas
and gentlemen.
gracias
Thank
a
you.
los padres
Thank
y
you, everybody.
familiares
Muchas
que
gracias.
vinieron a apoyar a sus hijos.
Sara, congratulations.
Ah, el niño.
Bye.
No wonder. Muchísimas gracias. Felicidades.
Thank you very much. Excellent. Excellent. Good job.
No, I think it's you. I'm always cold. It is. My hands are cold. Maybe it was just the crowd. I don't get cold right now.
Hey, you could say that if you want to.
Okay. Now it's empty. Come back. No. Come back. All right. Item 3, library presentation. We have.
Thank you, President Avina. So at this point, I would like to ask, we have an annual required presentation on our library program throughout the Calexico Unified School District. And I would like to ask our lead librarian, Ms. Carmina, if she could approach the podium along with Ms. Elisa Ramirez, our Assistant Soup of Educational Services, and they will provide the presentation. It's okay. It's too early.
Are you guys going to put it in presentation mode? Good evening one more time. Every year we are required to do a presentation and an update on our media centers. So the superintendent or designee shall annually assess and report to the board regarding the conditions and use of our school libraries. And this has to be done before August 31st. So we like to do the presentation today. That way we finish it early in the year. And Carmina Ramirez, who's our district librarian, has to update all this information in the actual CDE. There's a website where we have to put all this information. It is public information, and every year it has to be entered. So the rest of the report is going to be presented by Carmina Ramirez.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here every year to report. These are the 8 areas of the report, which is access, the process, staffing, quality of the collection, special programs, the adequacy of facility space, adequacy of funding, and challenge materials. So I would like to start with the focus of our priority as library staff in the district is to create welcoming environments in our libraries and promote the love of reading, because we know that we want students to be lifelong readers. And through our promoting of the love of reading, we also hope to increase literacy for all students. And that includes maintaining our libraries organized, visually appealing, creating events for students, helping students with selecting books, and reading to all of our students, all grade levels from K through 12. Currently, we have all positions filled. We have 12 sites, so we have 11 library technicians and myself, and I am at the main campus at Calexico High School. We did have a couple of changes, and the only changes were because librarians wanted to change their schedule to accommodate students, so they come a little earlier. As you can see, for library technicians, the time was 9 to 4, so more librarians are wanting to change their schedule to 8 to 3, so that they're there when students are at school. And then we have full-time librarians that come in at different times, but they are full-time. And so those are the hours. We have schedules for elementary schools, so every single teacher, classroom teacher, has a time designated for them to visit the library. And then for secondary schools, that is a little bit different for whole class. Students go more independently, and but also whole classes attend. For school sites, we have Ms. Lenhart at Blanche. We have Ms. Tirado at Cesar Chavez. Mr. Solis is our new librarian at Dual. Ms. Beltran is our Jefferson librarian. And then also elementary library technicians, Ms. Ceballos at Kennedy Gardens, Ms. Bello Contreras at Mains, and Ms. Morales at Rockwood. For secondary middle school librarians, Mr. Nunez at Enrique Camarena, and Ms. Ramirez at Willie Moreno Junior High. And then for the high school librarian technicians and myself is Ms. Iniguez at Aurora High School, myself at Calexico High School, and Ms. Lopez at the 9th grade campus. Okay. And for checking out books, we use the program, Identimetrics is the program that scans it's a biometric program, so it's not the fingerprint, but just part, like 3 dots on the to identify the student. And this year we worked with our technology department, and they have purchased new computers, and they have updated all of our elementary schools, and we will continue with secondary next year so that we can really integrate it with our cafeteria and library. This program has to be on all of the time, so that was a challenge. Some of the computers were turned off. So now everything is up to date. For the quality of the collection means what books we have in the library. And that might be something that most people think is something simple to purchase books, but we have to really be educated on best practices on how to purchase books, what is something that our students would want to read. And we really have been trained, like the group that we have today, even our new librarian, we have been to many professional development opportunities where we have learned how to choose the best books for our students, what to do in terms of promoting engagement in the libraries. So the combination of best practices based on science and collection development and professional development, it's what I'm really excited about telling you about next. So some of the professional development we had this year, we trained, the Lego Education trained our librarians to create engaging activities with students and also with adults. So we have all kinds of programs that, and Legos are used in every library in our district. So it was really fun, exciting, and we got new practices. And then we did have a visit from the DEMCO doctor to show us how to maintain our books and how to fix the books and how to give them a longer life. But all of this is possible because we work closely with Imperial County Office of Education and San Diego County Office of Education, and they provide presenters, and we have been the host at the CAP Center. So it works great, and we have hosted several of these trainings. We meet monthly. We have our monthly meetings, but they become small trainings as well. And we invite, not to our meetings, but to our all-day trainings, we invite every librarian in the county. So we have a network of knowledge, and it's wonderful. So this is a part that I'm super excited to share with you. So I have to report on the different things about the books in the library. The items are the books. The average age is how old the books are in an average number. Items per student, how many books per student. Diverse titles means what type of books and stories we offer. So they're both fiction and nonfiction, but when we say diverse, it could be from a diverse author or a book. That means that we are purchasing books that tell stories about different cultures, different types of families, different experiences, different genders, and we have our students, they are represented in those books. When our students pick up those books, they see themselves, but also it allows them to learn about others and other people's experiences. So, and the last one is circulation. How many books circulated, were checked in, checked out? Because I have to report on the yearly, you only see the year, but over the years, this has improved so much. In the last 4 years, we have increased our number of items. We have also weeded out old books. The average is going up, like in the 2000s, which is really good because a lot of our collections were in the 90s or even 80s, but we're getting younger here. And then for items per student, it's an important number. I think the state is like 25 books per student, but I believe that the diversity and types of books is really way more important because it really allows us to engage students. So for diverse titles, 4 years ago, our goal was 30% of our books. And if you look at every school site, we have gone beyond, and a couple of schools are under that 30% goal, and they're very close to it. But there's some that are 35, 38, and 39. Like, that is amazing. That means our books are interesting. And for the secondary, we also have those numbers for diversity. Our high school, I've been there for the last year. It needs a lot of love, and it's been awesome. Like, it's growing, but it's still like we're still working on it. And then if you see the circulation numbers, maybe they don't make any sense because it's just a number, but we have 12 sites. Out of the 12 sites, 8 schools increased their circulation by thousands, and 4 schools doubled their circulation. And that is really mind-blowing. I think for the last year, it's really, really amazing. That means that we were really into, one of our goals was to focus on who doesn't come to the library and how can we invite them to the library. So they are, even though I share with you that there are scheduled times for teachers, sometimes teachers get busy or they send students in groups, and maybe there are students that don't go to the library as much. So based on that, our librarians, we decided like to create activities for a class, or to do a read aloud, or to do something special for those classes that don't really visit. So that helped a lot. And also having full librarians at a site helps very much, because somebody's there all day to receive and exchange books. So that is a very big highlight. I'm very proud of our team. We continue to have a lot of activities. Reading is the most important one, reading every week or as much as we can, to kinder all the way to 12th grade. For secondary, reading looks like reading to small groups, whether it is special ed classes or EL students. For elementaries, just all types of reading. And then we have activities such as art, like book cover competitions, book clubs, author visits, and many of you participated in the family literacy nights as well. We also continue to have the book vending machines, which is a culture, is now part of what we do and what kids expect and want. They want books. And that's a dream, another dream come true. Here are some of the schools doing a read aloud, and just a little glimpse of what we're doing. Some of the National Heritage Month celebrations, these are at the high school. Art exhibits, art competitions. So our libraries are a space for culture, for to welcome our students, to relax. Like, there's all kinds of parts to a library. We have here students participating in an art activity, which is Dot Day, and it was celebrated in other schools as well. It's based on a book, so we connect activities with books. We also had virtual and present author visits. This one took place at the high school. This author, Thien Pham, he is Vietnamese and wrote a book about family. It's called Family Style. The book was about when he asked his family about what was their immigration story, even though he is in his late 40s or maybe 50s, he had not known that story because it was too painful. Parents didn't want to talk about it. So this book is all about food and that story. And our EL students got to keep a copy and ask questions virtually. So that was really cool. And then we have our own Calexico author. We had Mr. Velez share his book with our high school students, and he presented to two groups of 100 students, and we had conversations, and we know that by research that when a student meets an author or knows more about an author, they're more likely to read their books, continue to read those books, or read more. We also had a local author, Cuauhtemoc Cortez, who went to Jefferson, and J. Humber Felix, who also the co-author. He illustrated the book Joaquin Nurstinker, who was presented at several schools, and they will continue to present to the rest of our school sites. And they talked about the process of writing and how they're Calexico kids, writing a book, and how this dream can come true for all of our students. So it was really awesome. And there are some other, many activities, students getting their Calexico Academic Literacy Letter when they read 10 or more books during the year. And this is a picture of Aurora High School, which all of the librarians are very happy for her, but very jealous of their amazing library. And it's just been a wonderful transformation for that school site. So all of our libraries have adequate furniture, but we would love to have well, that looks more like this. Thank you so much. I think there's one more slide.
And all the libraries have received new furniture over the last 3 years.
Yes.
Yeah, 2 years due to grant funding. So the primary funding that we use for our libraries and to get the shelves stocked with books is through the LCAP. It's been in the LCAP for many years. Schools also do some fundraising at their sites, and whenever we have literacy grants, we make sure that we allocate some of those fundings to the libraries too, which we did have a couple of years ago, like I said, and that's how we got some new furniture. And then just to end, Ed Code says that anybody can challenge any materials, and so we want to put it in our presentation so that the community is aware. And this also says that we have to get rid of all of our outdated subject matter. If we don't get rid of our obsolete books, then that doesn't allow us to increase the year, because then the average just keeps staying low. So that's why Ms. Ramirez made reference to reviewing our books from the 80s and the 90s and removing them and just getting new books with new authors. And with that, we end our presentations. And do you have any questions for us?
Board members, any questions, comments?
If you go back, I'm sorry, if you go back to the slide for the secondary schools, how can we get the momentum going from CHS 9 to the main campus? Big difference on the items per student. So we have 32.6 at the 9th grade campus and then 2 at Calexico High School. How can we keep the momentum going?
Okay, so you mean why does the 9th grade have more items?
How can we keep it going? Like they're at 9th grade and they're transferring over, you know what I mean?
No, I'm sorry. I don't understand the question.
Let me explain that. So I think you're looking at items per student, Ms.
Yes.
Calderon.
Oh,
so
items
those are
per
actu-
student. Oh,
Yeah,
I
those
see.
are actually books we have per student. It's the ratio of books to students. So it's not a momentum. It's
So
a
it's
bit.
not how many books they're reading?
No, it's how many books are
The bottom
available.
number is the number of books, the circulation.
The circulation is. Oh, yeah.
Yes, and for the high school, last year was 1,300 books checked out, library books, and this year was 2,614.
So I do remember the presentation from last year, and
Yes.
the numbers have improved.
Yeah.
Yes.
From
Yeah, so
Yes.
just to clarify, if I may, Ms. Ramirez, so the items per student is the ratio of books per student. So at the high school, having close to 3,000 students, and we have 2 per, so it's about 6,000 books,
Yes.
right? So that's just a physical book ratio, where the circulation is how many books students are checking out.
So
Yes.
I did make a note. It would help for next time if you can add a row of how many students that are each site?
Yes,
That
I
would
can
help.
do that. And yes. Yes, I can. And also for the ninth grade, if you see the number of books on the top items, 22,000, those are very old books. A lot of the books are falling apart. So a big job that our librarian did this year is to start weeding them out. So that number is going to go down a lot, but also we are introducing new books. So yes, yes. And so the high school also was there, and we have, this year we purchased close to 500 books. So that's really good. And also books are going up in price. So it's kind of like we want to get there, but they're also very expensive. And again, I focus a lot on the type of book, diversity, because then students want, even if we have a small collection, it's circulating.
Yeah.
But if we have a huge collection that is dusty and outdated, students are not.
Quality over quantity.
Yes.
And then last from me, I volunteer the entire board to do some book reading once in a while throughout the year.
Yes. And I would love that. Yes. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I just had I think for the future, just one of the things that I would like to see what the correlation is on the number of books that get read, the diversity, and the ones that get circulated, to how we're performing at each one of our schools in the reading area. So if we're seeing improvement on our kids reading, especially our first to third grade, and the number of books are getting checked out on that area.
So just to restate, you would like a report on first to third grade, just in general, or like the
Just
diverse?
in general, I think it's is there any correlation from the number of books that are getting read, to how we're improving reading at those
Yes.
schools?
Yes, and there are numbers that we can look at it when, for example, first grade, we're going to see a lot more circulation because books are shorter and teachers are taking students more often. And then as the years go up, maybe they're taking longer to read a book, or there's other things going on. But we definitely can look at, there's research, I don't know if our district, but there's research that shows an increase in English scores when you have a librarian at a school site. So I think that we have probably seen that
It's just
before.
what caught my eyes. You got everybody at 30%, but the schools that you have lowered, it just seems that our percentages on the reading. So if you go to the
That there might be a
they
connection.
might, yeah.
And I do also want to say about the circulation, about the ones that stayed the same, their school sites dropped in student enrollment. So it would be good to add the student enrollment. I mean, I could be here for hours and show you over the years, but because I'm supposed to show 1 year, but I can add that to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think in terms of the data, one thing we could look at, especially elementary level, because that's when we do the iReady literacy and do a comparison, because by the time we do this presentation, we already have iReady data for the year.
And that's what I was going
Yeah.
at, to just take the information that we're getting in here, see how it correlates with the other data that we get.
Yeah, so we'll make a note so we don't forget. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me just close again as you're walking. Just want to mention again, libraries are always a safe place, a special place on school campuses for students and staff. Whether it's be sometimes a cool center, sometimes a retreat for students, a learning center. But very much appreciate the work that you and your team are doing. I was glad to see the investments we're doing as a district, into libraries, books, but also the furniture and the environment, because it builds that culture there. But again, just want to thank you for that and your team. Again, what I appreciate also seeing is the activities and the culture and the art that draw students in. It's not just about books, but it's about making those books alive and the library alive for students. So again, a special place on our site. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Carmina is very humble, but she's converted libraries to what you see now, because it used to be just a place to check in and check out books. But now they're constantly active, and our library techs are reading to students and willing to learn and do hands-on activities. So they've really transformed over the past 3-4 years. Thank you.
I do have one comment question. Are kids allowed to take books home? Yes?
Yes.
Okay,
All over students.
great. Okay, just making sure.
All students can take books, and even if they lose a book, they're put in the debt list, but we allow them to continue to check out books.
Okay, thanks. All right, next, for impactor pathway presentation. And I'm gonna apologize, Ms. Limon. I was gonna move you to go first because you have an important meeting to go to on safety at the city. Okay, all right.
So thank you, President Avena. So at this, I'd like to ask Ms. Limon and Mr. Luis Banya, who are going to, and Ms. Diana Perez, who's going to present an update on our Impactor Pathway program. Mr. Banya? There's a button.
Green button.
Oh, okay, thanks. Sorry. Good evening, and thank you, Superintendent Jimenez. Thank you, Board President Avina, and thank you, esteemed Calexico Board of Trustees. So, my name is Luis Banya. I am the Head of Partnerships and Growth for Impactor Pathway, and I'm here visiting from Los Angeles, and I'm here on behalf of our co-CEOs, Joshua Arnold and Danny Byun, along with your Impactor Climate Coordinator, Rodney Jones. So they were unfortunately could not attend, so I'm happy to attend in their place. So again, thank you for your patience as I'm going to try to stick to my presentation in the interest of keeping us on time. So, yep, got it. Okay. All right, again, thank you for the welcome. And what you're about to see now is a culmination of the last 2 years that we've been partnering together. It's measurable work. It's not a pilot. It's not a promise. I mean, Calexico made a commitment to hearing student voice at scale, and today we want to show you exactly what that investment has returned. We're going to go walk through some data, talk about some growth, and what we're building towards the future. All right. So let's just begin with the numbers. As you can see, this past year, we had over 1,400 active student learners across Calexico that submitted over 50,000 responses, okay? And across that generated over 1.7 million words of authentic student voice data collected and analyzed. So that's not just survey data, that's actual student voice captured within the Calexico Unified Student community, right? So that's what's the real power, and I'll show you some actual examples of that. So. Most importantly, the 8 anchor attributes are what grew across the board, and that was consistent throughout the entire student body. And so that's a sign that the program is really working across the board. And what we have here are actual quotes and voices behind the data of your actual students. So you can take a look at elementary school at Adul Elementary, and 8th grade at William Moreno, and 9th grade at Calexico High School. And these are actual quotes from your students, and those are scannable QR codes, so you can actually hear the responses. Most likely they're either video or audio. And I think the main thing that's worth mentioning here is that our system scored each of these responses for these various attributes. As you can see, perspective taking for the 5th grade at Dual, gratitude for the 8th grade at William Moreno, and purpose at Calexico High School. And that's what's really the important thing to keep in mind here, that these are the actual responses that go into our platform that gets analyzed at scale, and that's the trend data that you're going to be able to see. And actually, I'd like to play an actual response, hoping this works. Okay. Oh. Okay.
Lo que más amo de mí es que siempre que pierdo, nunca tratan de herirme fácilmente. Lo que más valoro de mí es mi coraje y esfuerzo. En el carácter que me siento más orgullosa es en adolescente ser graciosa y fuerte. Algo en que me esforcé fue mi art skills. Lo que me gusta de mí es que soy chistosa o no quiero. Y que siempre nunca trato de rendirme fácilmente. Siempre siento me esfuerzo mucho.
One thing that makes Calexico truly unique is the power of the multilingual dimension that your community has. The majority of your students are English learners or Spanish dominant. Impactor, the platform, scores responses in both languages with equal validity. This means no student is disadvantaged by the language barrier, and that they're able to choose the language which they can reflect in. A student's depth of thinking doesn't just disappear just because they express it in Spanish, and now we can prove that. This slide tells the growth of the story at the campus level. As you can see, across the different sites, Moreno Junior High School had a tremendous year, 107 times growth. Maines Elementary had 41 times growth. Enrique Camarena, 22 times, and Aurora High School, 10 times. And in March 2026, we saw a record of almost 13,000 student responses in a single month. That's not just a data artifact. That's teachers integrating this into the core academic time and students showing up for it. So the connection between wider adoption and especially strong gains in purpose and gratitude is something worth highlighting today. So 2 findings are worth discussing with everyone today. Compassion is really your community's strongest attribute. And notably, there's a strong parity between the Hispanic and non-Hispanic community here. That's equity data. Second is perspective. Perspective taking is identified as a key focus area, but Jefferson Elementary is performing at an extremely high level. Okay, and that's an internal model we're studying and to see how that can be replicated across all the different sites. Can that be replicated at scale? And our team at Impact believes it can be, because now that we're going to our 3rd year of partnership, there's just continued room for additional growth opportunities. And a lot of this success would not be possible without the support of some amazing contributors from the Calexico team. Dr. Rodriguez. Oh, sorry, she moved over there. So, Edith Pimentel, Mr. Perez, and of course the entire counselor and administration staff that has supported the partnership over the last 2 years. So we're very, very grateful for the support that has allowed us to demonstrate these measurable results. Looking forward, this is the growth plan for the upcoming year. Obviously, one is to really maximize the curriculum usage across this, secondary schools, because the benchmarks and dashboards are already prepared. And we're going to implement a behavioral health screener district-wide so that basically students across all campuses will have the same opportunity to share their responses using the same type of prompts and the data collection feedback mechanisms that we used with regard to the curriculum. And then this will allow us to map those across to the MTSS tiers for early identification and making sure they have appropriate supports. So early intervention can really mitigate some of the more severe cases using the behavioral health screener. So, and then finally, just building a unified story for the leadership. You know, we're planning to build across all 3 of these pillars, and we believe that your community has the foundation to become really a statewide model worth replicating. So, and I was going to have Ms. Limon talk briefly about community schools for the upcoming year.
Thank you. Sure. Good evening, trustees, Mr. Jimenez, and the public. So Impactor is part of our SEL pathway. We have Me in Mind for the littles, so from TK through 6th grade now, and Impactor will now take over the secondary portion of our SEL. And part of this is launching the community schools assessments. And so what we want to do is work with them together to start empathy interviews, because listening to our students, hearing their voice is very important. And so now this is another pilot that we have on board. We're working with all of our secondary. It's coming. So this is for next year. So it's coming so that we can then pull that information and start to see the correlation of empathy, belonging, school climate, and start to see how it's all coming together, also using Panorama. Okay, so that's how we're starting to measure our growth, starting to use the information for our community school reports. So we're really excited. This is a new venture for us, and it's going great. You know, we've seen a lot of growth. We've seen our schools starting to really work with us and work with Impactor, and it's good. It's good.
Good evening, Board President, Superintendent, and board members. So I'm going to talk a little bit of the implementations in our secondary schools. I know Willie Moreno and Enrique Camarena kind of have a similar model. So the way we're starting to implement it, we implemented through our advisory period, our reading block. So once a week, we're giving our students the opportunity school-wide to log into Impactor for 25 minutes. They work at the Impactor, and then I use it as a tier 2 intervention as well for kids that are getting our office discipline referrals and ODRs. They have to log in, think about the actions that they did. They do a reflection log, and then after that, they have to do a certain amount of minutes in Impactor. We've seen a decrease of ODRs, office discipline referrals, in our site. We also seen a decrease of suspension rates, so we're not having as many suspension or referrals coming into the office. I think the work of MTSS, the work of our PBIS tier 1 and tier 2, and our supports that we have in place right now in our school has made such an impact. And the use of Impactor, because students do need something to reflect, think about their actions before making a mistake. So all this, it's reflective work, restorative work. It's something that every school needs, and we are taking advantage, and we will continue to take advantage. This year was different from last year, is that I did hold training for our teachers that were not really feeling comfortable using Impactor. So I had a pull-out day where I showed them how to use Impactor so they could have success implementing it. And next year I want to continue to model that, ensuring that every teacher and at our side is able to implement it with confidence and be able to read the reports. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Limon. Thank you, Ms. Perez. Thank you for assistance in supporting us on this endeavor, and thank you for sharing your feedback. So finally, just when we started this partnership about 2 years ago, we really started with the belief that student voice, if measured correctly and at scale, could really change how a district sees itself. Now that we're 2 years in, going into year 3, that belief has been backed by the data as we just went through. Measurable results in student engagement and skill development have been shown, and in line with district goals and wellness initiatives will be continued to be focused on going forward. So the exciting thing is that we've done this across all these sites, and the successful integration will continue to grow as we embark on our 3rd year of partnership. And I'd like to again thank you for trusting us in this process, as we really appreciate and cherish the partnership that the Calexico Unified School District community has shown us, and we're looking forward to many more years of working together. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Board, any comments?
Yeah, just I think real quick, I think I really like the non-sugar coated type of program, right? Because I see that it is evidence-based practice put into action, and it kind of takes you with where the data that we have is driven towards analyzing what other things that we could put in there. So you made a determination, I think, on adding our mental health component implementation, the mapping, which is not something that is easy to do,
right?
But I think you have enough from the recordings from other stuff coming in that you have enough information in there to make the mapping kind of work, and then figure out where the kids go from that point, right?
That's correct.
And I really, really like that. I guess, when we're looking at other changes, I wrote where else can we make changes that matter, right? And then she made the comment, made the comment of already using it for disciplinary purposes, and it seems like the reward and sanctions, we do a lot more rewards than sanctions, which is pretty good, and I just like that it is aligned with the curriculums, that it creates a positive outcome for our students in the near future, versus something that we know we're going to get better, but it seems that it's measurable and obtainable.
Right.
Really appreciate it.
Of course. So, our pleasure. So.
I do have a couple comments or questions. First of all, the key insights. You mentioned Jefferson, that they're seem like they're doing an outstanding job in perspective taking. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that? You mentioned something about you maybe replicating that in other schools.
Oh, okay.
What is that?
Yeah, and so we didn't actually show the data, Board President Avina, but basically the data shows that Jefferson is doing a tremendous job with these two attributes, right? Because the 8 attributes we're really trying to measure are the Harvard Making Caring Common project here, as you can see. So perspective taking, purpose, self-control, grit, growth mindset, compassion, gratitude. So I guess what Jefferson's shown with regard to those two attributes, they've shown a lot of growth year over year. And so I think that's remarkable that it's an elementary school, right? And so typically you'd see that type of growth usually with the older kiddos, but the fact that it's been shown at the elementary schools, it just bodes well for the future. So we're excited about trying to dig into the data, understanding exactly how or why that's happening, and obviously trying to disseminate that across the entire district. Because of the fact that these young elementary school kids have shown that they can grow their compassion every year, growing their perspective taking over year, because again, those are attributes that are typically not seeing as much growth until the kiddos are a little bit older. But the fact that they're doing it at a young age is tremendous. And so we're going to definitely delve more deeply into that. I know your Rodney, your impactor, kind of like your ambassador, he will be delving deeply into that to see what we can do to replicate that across all the other sites. So,
okay. All right. Thank you.
Of course.
Also, is this for the high school also, or just junior highs?
Oh, it's across all the sites.
Okay. Are
President.
we implementing this like in the, what do we call it, the in-school suspension or the ISS?
So thank you, President Avina, and then I will have Ms. Limon and Ms. Perez respond a little bit more to the Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 process. But so we're working with 2 programs, and we're pretty progressive when it comes to this. We've been one of the early adopters within the Valley, and Impactor Pathway has been and is being adopted in more and more organizations, school districts, probation, juvenile, because it gives students the opportunity to reflect on their thoughts, to reflect on their emotions, to reflect on their actions, and if they did something great and it makes them feel good, to reflect on the positive. If they did something not so good or just plain out wrong, it gives the opportunity to reflect on that as well. I remember in the old days, we'd give the students a piece of paper in the principal's office that said, write a paragraph or write the page on what you did wrong and what you would do differently. The level of interactive process that this program allows students to engage in is just exponentially far greater than just an activity like that, or lecturing the students, or students get to hear their own voice via an audio or video recording and reflecting on for Impactor that we're going to focus and target 6th through 12th grade. It's based as Mr. Lewis said on a study by Harvard University on these 8 attributes of a healthy, productive citizen of the country, of the world, or that's contributing in a positive way back to society. We've decided that for kinder through sixth grade.
No, kinder through 6. Kinder through 6, and then 7th through 12th grade.
7th through 12th, thank you. Second, junior high and high school, and then elementary schools. For elementary schools, we're going to use the Me and Mine program, which is a little bit more animated, a little bit more geared towards the younger kids. And that program is actually a program out of a study from Stanford University School, and we were one of the pilot districts in the state of California to utilize those programs. So now, as far as a Tier 1, Tier 2, and it is as we're using it when students misbehave, I do want to point out what Mr. Contreras, Trustee Contreras, said is about our restorative practices. If we could be restorative through positive behavior intervention support plans over punitive as much as we possibly can, that's where you get the far greater outcomes than just focusing or having an imbalance between a punitive approach as to a more affirmative approach. So would you like to add to any of that, Ms. Molina?
Yes, so we're actually
Lamar?
going to start using Impactor for students who are suspended and for students who are expelled. It's going to be part of their
Rehabilitation
yes,
plan?
thank you. I was like, not reunification, yes, that one. So it will be part of their plan, and we're actually in talks with ICOE Valley Academy, because those are our students also. So we'll be working with them on plans and also with SARB students. So all of this will be in place. We're actually looking at Impactor to replace community school hours so that they actually get this reflection, this time to work and grow. And so, yes, we will be using that. We will be using it more at the high school. And so our community school facilitators are also now well-trained on Impactor. And so they are the ones that are also monitoring reports and working with the administrators and so forth and so on.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Yeah, very important to have it in school
Yes.
suspension. 'Cause
Absolutely.
I'm not sure what kids do nowadays, but I remember my times, not that I was in the ISS class ever, maybe once. It was just, waste of time, So, I don't know, times have changed, so it will be great to use that in that setting as well.
Absolutely.
And Esperes, thank you, great presentation. It looks like you're doing a great job over there at Camarena, the Tier 1, using it in the advisory class and in training teachers. That's very important as well, so thank you.
Just one last thing, just based on my work, working on this 8 items, keeps them away from working on the 8 criminogenic needs in our criminal justice ribbon, and I think these kind of deal within the inside of it, and once they get to us at either probation or parole, it becomes really hard to get them back to focus on this specific areas, which I think hitting it now is really responsive. Really appreciate it.
And if I could just very quickly add, Trustee President Avina, that when we're looking already, we're into our second and third year of implementation and with this work, but our overall work with MTSS, with PBIS, all the great work that our staff, our principals, our teachers, all of our staff, because with PBIS, our classified employees are part of it. Everyone's a part of supporting our students and supporting them with their academically, but also socio-emotionally and whatnot, is that I'm very, very proud of our students. I'm very proud of their efforts and the work they're doing. I know and I get it when we see a fight online, right? A student fight. Nobody wants any students to fight. But we got close to 8,000 students. I'm just rounding here. And the great majority of those students, right, 98% of those students are not getting in fights. They're coming to school every day. They're doing their work. They're studying. They're doing their homework. They're trying their best. Sometimes in spite of great odds against them, right, in spite of dealing with a lot of hardships in life. It could be hunger, it could be poverty, it could be a lot of very, very difficult hardships with their families or with themselves. And nevertheless, the great majority of our students in the high 90 percentile, I could bring an exact percent. We have this analytics, we have the data. It's up there in the 99% of our students are working hard every day and they're trying their best, right? Yes, we understand that we see a fight, a school fight or a fight at the park, whatever, and it gets posted all over social media and it looks like, oh my God, what is going on over there? Look at how horrible that it is. And it is. We don't want to see kids fight. But something like that is not a representation of our community. It's not a representation of our students. It's not a representation of our schools, of the work that our staff are doing. It's not a representation of the culture in Calexico Unified School District. Students make poor choices, they make mistakes in life, and we address it, and we do hold students accountable, and sometimes it breaks our heart, but we will hold students accountable depending on the egregiousness of their acts and what they did, and we do that. But we see programs like this supporting students, and we're seeing the impacts by reducing suspensions and expulsions, and reducing fights and other disciplinary actions that students were getting in trouble with, to a far greater degree that they have been in the past few years. Although I understand we see a fight or two or three, and it looks like it's this is happening everywhere, and it really is not. It's the not minimizing it, not saying it's okay, but it really is a very small minority of situations when that happens. A very, very few instances. The great majority of our kids are not getting in trouble or misbehaving or having disciplinary issues. So I'm very proud of the work our staff are doing, our administrators, our teachers, our all of our support staff, our counselors, psychologists, behavioral health, all the team. When our secretary smiled at a student, I remember 2 years ago, we asked a group of alumni who made a difference in your life. Who was that one staff member, and why do you remember them? And they mentioned Mr. Louis Garcia and Mr. Carlos Montaño, and they mentioned different teachers and throughout whether it's elementary, junior high, and high school. And I remember of the 8 recent alumni that we interviewed, one of them said it was one of our secretaries at the high school, Mrs. Luque, Marina Luque, right? And it said, well, a secretary, okay, why did Miss Marina Luque made a difference in your life? She was always so friendly, and I would walk into the office and she would smile, and I felt like she genuinely cared about my day. She genuinely cared about how I was doing. That's it. I just found a person in my life who felt that she cared about me. And so we all make a difference in the lives of our students. And so I'm very proud of the work that's taking place. We want to improve. We want to, not have a single fight, but there's a lot of really, really great kids in our school district. The majority of them are doing an excellent job.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Jimenez, for highlighting that. No, you're absolutely right. No, you said 98%. I'll probably say 99% of our kids don't get in fights. They're great kids. It's a very small percentage that end up getting in fights outside of school, or maybe inside. But you're right. No, our kids are great, and having been a principal in this district for many years, elementary and junior high, I attest to that. Most kids behave excellent. They're great kids, and sometimes teenagers are teenagers, and fights will happen. It's been happening for hundreds of years in our society. But our job is always to make sure everybody's safe and shoot for that 100%, right? 0 fights. And programs like this will help.
They do help.
And then another question, how are we communicating this with parents? Are they aware of this, or what's the connection there with parents? Because, talking about fights, it's very important that, we get our families and parents involved in partnerships, because it takes a village to raise a kid. It's not all 100% the responsibility of the school district to make sure kids are behaving. That starts at home. That starts at home. So how do we connect this with parents?
We have started some parent trainings, and next year we're going to focus more on parent trainings on Impactor and Me and Mine, so that they're aware of the connection. Mm-hmm. And it'll be part of our parent summit also, so that they understand, okay, this is how this works, and this is why it's important to follow up and continue with it. So yes, we are going to, we have started, but we're going to focus more on it this year.
And if I could add to that, I'm actually going to take a little bit from my superintendent's report. So my superintendent's report will be a little bit shorter.
Okay.
Because just today, Ms. Limon came back from San Diego County Office of Ed, and we were actually awarded, this is hot off the press right here, the Family Engagement Trailblazer Award that she just walked in with. And this is from the Family Engagement Program, and I was going to give it to you like that. I know it's okay. She's anxious. She wants it. But it's a recognition of, and Alex, I'm going to ask her not to be so humble right now, to actually give a little bit of data of the thousands of hours and trainings and our increases that we've done with family engagement, community engagement, family trainings, workshops. And so I want to, Alex, if you could just provide a little bit of those details.
Absolutely. So our team, the community school facilitators, this week we were at the Family Leadership Summit in San Diego, and we were part of a panel, and we were definitely able to put Calexico on the map. It was awesome, and then the surprise came today with this award. And so when we received the award, I started thinking about everything that the district has done, because community schools is a district-wide initiative. It is a district-wide effort. For this particular item, the community school facilitators, counselors, parents, expanded learning tutors, they were all part of this. And so they were able to train in a very short time 190 parents in the spring semester. That's a lot of parents. And this is at all of our sites. We now have parent training at all of our sites. But that doesn't mean that this is the only thing that's going on. I cannot tell you the amount of work that our counselors have put in regards to having parent trainings at the sites. And this is for years that our counselors have done this. Our community schools are new, and they're part of the team now. And then our administrators, our librarians, our staff, we have a lot of teachers that put out things, our mental health specialists, our LCSWs, with our health fairs, with any type of, information that's out there. This is a true concerted effort by Calexico Unified School District. So this award is it's one of many that we're going to start seeing with this community school effort. So I'm very, very honored to bring this back to all of you. And also, lastly, thank you to the board for all of your support. Mr. Superintendent, Mr. Jimenez, thank you also for all of this support, and executive cabinet. I'm just in awe that we received this award. And I just want to thank all of you. I want to thank all of the staff out there, and just give a big shout out to our staff that we did it. We all did it. All 1,000 staff members and our parents out there. Last year we had 1,700 parent participants. This year we went out to 4,900 parent participants. That's huge. That is huge. So yes, Calexico Unified School District, we are parent engagement trailblazers.
So we're being asked to present about our parent engagement program that we're doing, our community schools program that we're doing. Alex has presented at multiple conferences in the state of California, Sacramento. She's going to be attending a conference in Tennessee, Alex, fully paid for by the conference, to present the work that we're doing here in Little Bitty Calexico Unified School District. But she's already been at multiple nationwide conferences presenting about the work that's taking place in Calexico with our community schools, with our parent engagement. We've been part of the, about 3-4 years ago, we first applied for the Community Engagement Initiative, the CEI, out of the San Diego County Office of Education, and we were awarded it, and it's just been a very, very positive and productive work that's taking place with that. It's not perfect. It's not 100%. We're striving, President Avina, for 100%. We're striving for it. We're working hard every day, but it's improved a lot.
Exactly. Sí se puede, your favorite. Sí se puede.
That's right. Sí se pudo. Sí se puede.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Limon. Thank you so much. Great work for you and your staff. A shout out to everybody. But this is a great opportunity, something else that can be showcased and to the public. We've talked about before about sharing our stories, informing the community so everybody knows what we're doing. Because sometimes there's a perception, maybe amongst a very few members in the community, that might think that we do nothing, right, for kids. They see a fight, Calexico does nothing. But actually we do a lot. And so promoting this through social media, Facebook, and all those platforms, so the whole world knows what Calexico does for our kids, because there's a lot that is done and needs to be recognized. Yeah, so thank you so much.
Only in
Thank you so much.
Calexico.
Good? All right. Thank you. Okay, D, comments from the public. The board will take any and all comments from the public related to an item on the agenda or any other item of district business that is not on the agenda. Can we have, is it Javier Rascon? Yes? Yeah, come to the podium, please. Thank you.
My name is Javier Rascon. Worked for the district for 26 years, AC technician. So I had a workman's comp case where I got a hip replacement in October last year. And then in February, I got that hip dislocated. So I had to kind of restart my rehabilitation and stuff. So to begin with, okay, on the agenda, what I'm talking about is a 39-month re-employment that they want to put me on because of the time that supposedly that I used. Well, to be put on the 39-month re-employment list, first you have to have an interaction, return to work meeting with the HR and my attorney president, which hasn't been done yet. I haven't had one. Okay, so the rest of the story goes, on 7th, I had a dislocation. And then, okay, so I asked the HR department, how much time do I have before I get put in on the 39-month? They said, you have till May 7th, but if you have vacation, you can use your vacation until it exhausts. So I got a letter saying that until June 17th, it would exhaust. So I still had time to come back to recuperate from my hip dislocation. I had a QME on April 15th, which is qualified medical examiner. All he does is evaluate my physical health, where I'm at, disabilities, whatever. They tell the workman's comp he's so much percentage disabled, whatever. He does not release me back to work. That was on the 15th. So it takes 35 to 40 days for them to get the letter. On the 29th of May, I get a letter from the district saying that my time exhausted and I was supposed to go back on the 15th, on the 16th of April, because the QME supposedly released me. But nobody knew about this. Nobody told me anything until the 29th. Then they said, oh, we're going to put you on this 39-month list. So supposedly my time exhausted already. And I've been on unpaid leave since May 7th. So it's been a whole month. I got cleared on the 3rd of June to come back to work. They didn't call me until the 7th on this Tuesday to have a meeting on Wednesday. Wednesday, they told me I had to go get a physical to see if I was okay at 100% to come back to work. I got it yesterday. They got the paperwork that I was okay to come back to work. Today, I get an email saying that now there's a meeting on Monday for me to come back and discuss my return to work. So I'm cleared twice and I still don't get called to work. I'm losing all this time. It's been a month without pay. That's what I'm trying to get to. You know, it's not right that they didn't give me information and a month passes or so and nobody has the information that they said that I was supposed to get cleared, but my primary doctor is the one that clears me, not the QME. So that's my concern about that. Pretty much that's it.
All right.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Javier.
Thank you.
Okay. Item E, consent agenda. Any other public comments?
No.
No. Okay. E, consent agenda. All items appearing will be acted upon by one motion without discussion unless any item is pulled for a separate consideration and action. Mr. Jimenez, are we pulling out some?
Not from
Names?
consent agenda, no.
No?
No.
Sure.
Sure. Yes, we are. So on the in consent agenda, under the classified report, it is recommended that we approve, that the board approves the classified report with the following amendments, that we remove or not approve the classified employment report without approving the 2 leave of absences without pay. I would like to point out that one of the leave of absences without pay was actually, who was an instructional assistant, was actually hired yesterday as a special education teacher for the new school year. So that is one of those success stories of our classified instructional assistants in special education going to school, getting their credential, and we're now happily able to move that person and offer them a special education teaching position. But I kind of share that as a little side note, but it is to approve the classified employment without the 2 leaves of absences.
Okay. I motion to approve the consent agenda with that amendment on the classified report.
Employment report. Yes.
Employment report.
I'll
Second.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Yeah. 4-0. Okay. F, information items. Superintendent's report. It's gonna be a little bit shorter, right?
Yes, because I already did one. Just very quick, I want to thank Ms. Carmina Ramirez as our lead librarian in Calexico. The improvements and the work that she has led at our school libraries for the past few years has been nothing short of remarkable. So thank you, Ms. Ramirez, and thank you to all of our librarian technicians in the district for providing a safe harbor, a safe place for our students to feel good about, to read books and expand their horizons through literature, and so thank you and congratulations for doubling and sometimes even more than doubling our schools book circulation at our school sites. Talked about the Trailblazers Award for our parent engagement. Also, I wanted to share, President Avina, Board of Trustees, that the board collectively in different times had told me, hey, we're doing a lot of really good programs, a lot of really good work. We're always wanting to improve. We're always wanting to get better, but there's a lot of really good stuff taking place. We should look at recognitions to recognize our community, to recognize our students and our staff and our schools for the hard work that's taking place, to confirm that and verify and affirm that the hard work that's taking place. You should look at things like California Distinguished School or Blue Ribbon Schools or a Golden Bough Awards application. So I'm very, very excited to share with you that a couple months ago at one of our leadership meetings, we talked about it. And talking with all of our administrators in the room, we looked at the Golden Bough Award, which is due, I believe, June 26th or 27th or something like that, coming up. And we said, hey, guys, you know, we got to celebrate the hard work that's taking place. So we're looking at submitting 6 or 7 applications for different programs that we have in the district. And in one of these meetings, Ms. Prisa Price said, hey guys, we could only submit 3 per school district to the Golden Bough Award. So talking together with everybody, we're going to be submitting a Golden Bough Award application for our student wellness program with our expanding learning program. We just met today to kind of discuss that a little bit more. Also, our educational services department will be submitting an application under our curriculum and instruction program, and then also our instructional technology program will be submitting our application for other work that's taking place with instructional technology that we've been doing for the past several years in the district. So keeping our fingers crossed, you know, hoping for the best, and I know we're going to have very strong applications. I know that we're going to compete throughout the state of California, and hopefully in the future we'll be able to bring some positive news on the Golden Bough Award applications. I want to congratulate Mr. Moreno. I was going to congratulate Mr. Moreno probably for the last time this school year on his 38 years of service. I did have the opportunity to attend his retirement party, although I was there for just a short period of time. You could just see the love and the admiration of many, many people. It was a full house, standing room only, and it was a beautiful event. I want to congratulate all of our graduates for Calexico High School. I had a beautiful ceremony last Thursday. It feels like a long time ago, and it was only a week ago. But over 4,000 people on Ward Field celebrating the great accomplishment of our high school students, seniors graduating from high school. We're already working with the few of the students that didn't make it to graduate with their credits or their GPA on time, but we're still working with them, and we're going to work really hard to support them to graduate in the summer program and to participate in our second chance graduation ceremony that we'll be having at the end of July. And finally, just want to wish everybody a fun, safe, and restful summer vacation. And that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Jimenez. Thank you. Board reports, Mr. Contreras.
Yep. Well, I just want to thank all the schools that gave us an opportunity to participate on the promotions and graduations. I think it kind of gives us a look as into, the good things that are happening at the school. One thing that I noticed a lot, at least on the 2 junior highs, it seems like the kids were a lot more mellow this year. They were like a little bit happier, and it's like, and I think a lot of it comes from kind of ending the COVID years and getting back into regular life. So we saw a lot of that. And then I think I was trying to recruit basketball players, and Mr. Jimenez was trying to recruit football players. So if we saw them tall and tough and stuff, it's like, hey, dude, are you going to play basketball? Or are you going to play football? So we got to do a lot of that. Got an opportunity to see a lot of parents that we normally don't engage with, and kind of like they have questions about the things that we're doing. They do have a lot of pride, especially those that were graduating out of Aurora and graduating out of the high school. And I think that's stuff that we don't see a lot, until you're out there dealing with the public, and really appreciative of that. With that, I think another thing is you guys see a lot of these things that come up in the agenda, and then, we're putting money into it. This pathways, right? We put a substantial amount of money in there, and now we're seeing the results, right? So a lot of it is tools that we're buying, but we're trying to make sure that the data backs up that we're properly using those tools, that we could continue doing something positive for our community or for our students, and that we do take into consideration, what are we doing with the parents? What are we doing with the teachers? Are we getting those buy-ins? A lot of times, it makes it difficult for us to gauge it, and it's not until, we have that information coming in. And like you said, Alex, sometimes we have to come back and kind of celebrate some of those things that are there, and make sure that the public knows, that there's a lot of other stuff going on that it's positive for our community. Mm-hmm. And just the last thing, is I really want to commend staff on, the changes, adjusting to changes that are being made and changes that come our way, and a lot of our principals for them owning the leadership, and going through the explanation purposes as into when there's staff getting moved, when there's staff being promoted. And a lot of times I think in leadership we think about making other people leaders, but then we don't want to accept when they got to move on, and it goes for all our staff, so sometimes we just kind of got to be prepared for that. Okay. And then happy Father's Day. I don't think we'd come back before that for those of you who are fathers. Thank you.
Mr. Castillo.
I think we have one more meeting this month, right? Later. There's always 2 in June. Again, I'm just thinking, and people were talking in their presentations, just the focus of why we're here, and that's just to serve students, preparing them academically. And I think that's what everybody in this room does, in different perspectives, whether we're in the school side, student support, business office, district office. We're all here to support students in one way or another. But again, that kind of this time of the year, I'm just kind of always reflecting on that. You know, end of the school year, there's a lot of excitement. Schools are closing, classroom, teachers are packing up. Our promotions were, again, amazing this year. But a lot of work, and again, attribute that to everyone in the district. I think Calexico does a lot of good things. We saw some, here are some, it was shared already. And sometimes we're asked, you know, well, why are we investing in this, or what is that? You know, people lose focus. You know, they think of more traditional activities, but a lot of these supports that we're implementing, again, go to the whole child, the whole student. It's not always the academics, but it's all the support services that people are building, the district is building. But a lot to celebrate here in the district, and again, just thinking and thanking everyone's time of the year for, you know, the closing the classrooms, working, getting our school sites ready. Summers are also another time where it gets very busy, preparing for the new school year, new professional development, facility work going on, all your budgets, preparations happening in district. But again, I think just my comments today are just that of gratitude. Again, thanking everyone in the district for their work. Thanking, you know, administration, of course, and even my board colleagues here tonight. You know, I think as a team we work well together. But again, we do amazing things in the district. But again, it's just that of gratitude. One of the 8 matters on this impactor we saw tonight. So I'll leave it at that.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Castillo. Javier Calderon.
Yes, so last week I had the honor as IVROP board member to present scholarships to 14 of our high school students. IVROP awarded a total of $9,500 to Calexico students. I was amazed at how many organizations were present giving out scholarships, thousands and thousands of dollars that are going to help and support our students as they move on to a very exciting and scary phase of their lives. So it was very nice to be there. I was also asked to be the guest speaker at the ceremony where we awarded a group of adults who received their GED and their medical certification over at Aurora High School under the leadership of Joshua. I know him. I know him as Joshua Lopez, right? Mr. Lopez, at Aurora High School, and I was asked to be the guest speaker, and I had never shared my story before, and I just hope that I caused some inspiration for those group of adults to, you know, don't stop there, to keep moving forward in their education. It was very humbling for me to be there. I'm a GED recipient myself, so when Mr. Lopez found out that I was a GED recipient myself, he thought it would be a good idea for me to be the guest speaker. So I do appreciate him for that opportunity. I also was able to attend the AVID. I thought it was going to be on your report because it's something to be very proud of. You know, it's the first time that we do things differently with the AVID conference. It was hosted over at the Q, and we were able, Mr. Castillo and I, and also Mr. Arellano, go into the different sessions and see the teachers during their summer break voluntarily be there, and a lot of our leadership interact in those sessions. We were able to listen to Deputy Superintendent Renato Montaño from ICOE be the keynote speaker. So thank you for the invitation. Very grateful that, you know, we have jobs and we were able to put some time away and drive out there and see that for ourselves. And I know it's not going to be the first one. It's the first of many. So usually, I understand that usually you would go to San Diego. But now, you know, we took the lead, and a few of the smaller school districts were blessed by that initiative. Superintendent Jimenez, I don't know who came up with that idea, but it was a great idea. And most importantly, it was cost saving and we achieved the purpose, right? Which was to further prepare our educators. So yeah, it was a fun couple of weeks, attending all the promotions, all the graduations, and it was also very moving to see all of the graduates at Calexico High School when it was all over come together to the field with their families. A lot of tears. I noticed a lot of tears. Happy tears, of course, and maybe some others not, just reminiscing. And I was thinking how there's always stories behind those tears. And a lot of time there's stories where, they endured hardship and they made it. They made it. For a lot of our students, they have a lot of challenges, they have a lot of obstacles, yet they made it. They made it, and very grateful for the second chance graduation, and looking forward to attending that. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Calderon. Well, I agree with everything that my colleagues here said here. AVID, I wasn't able to attend, but as a principal and educator, I've been to AVID trainings for many, many times. But I really like the idea of, again, I forgot whose idea. Well, I'm sure it was your idea, Mr. Jimenez. I'm moving it to Ms. Ramirez, moving it to locally here because it is a cost saving. A lot of money was saved. I know we talked about it at one of the board meetings, how much we were saving, because the savings there is an investment in something else, right? So that was great. The graduation, amazing graduation. I loved it. The drone show was pretty awesome. Can't wait for next year, see what we get. But the graduation, it reminded me of why we do what we do, right? Like you all mentioned, it was amazing. There was tears, there was passion, there was excitement. There's a lot of potential for the future. A lot of our kids, great speakers. Our students did a great job speaking. So it reminded me of why we do what we do, right? And it reminded me of also what happens when everybody comes and works together, classified management, certificate, everybody working together, helping each other, because when we work together and help the district, do a better job, our kids benefit, right? Our kids benefit, so it was just reminded me of that, everybody together, working, helping each other. So that was pretty good. I liked it. Also, for me, it was kind of special in a way. It was very special because my sixth grade students that I had at Jefferson, they didn't get to promote because of the COVID. We did like was it a parade? I think it was a parade or a Zoom graduation. And so I got to see them, going through a real graduation. So that was pretty amazing. So I only saw half of them because the other half were on the other side of the stage shaking Mr. Jimenez's hand. So, but a very special moment. And also, Mr. Jimenez, thank you for highlighting the application for the Golden Bell Award. Another opportunity to showcase what we do here in Calexico. And looking forward, hopefully, we do get awarded. I know, and you can't apply just because. You have to do some great things in order to apply, right? So just the application itself is a reflection of the hard work and dedication of our staff, because without them, we couldn't even apply. Right? So good luck to everybody. I know that you have a team of people working on this. It's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes, putting the application in, but hopefully we get it, and then we can celebrate and post it on social media for everybody to see. Okay, thank you. Okay, G, discussion, school consolidation update. Mr. Jimenez.
Thank you, President Avena. So just to provide a quick update to the community, because we conducted 3 community forums to share with the community the possibility of consolidating the school. We shared the declining enrollment, not only happening in Calexico, but happening in the most of Imperial Valley school districts throughout the state of California and in the majority of the United States of America. Where there's just fewer students and fewer babies, fewer students in schools. And so we had the opportunity to share with our community the reason why and the declining enrollment, specifically talking about Calexico, and the projections that were projected to continue to decline in enrollment. We're hoping that we could increase enrollment, but even if we were to increase enrollment, even if it was by a couple hundred kids, we have more than enough space that we could still consider consolidating a school. We are working, and hopefully we'll be done with this within the next week or two on a video, pre-recorded video that we're going to put on our websites, put on our social media platforms that provide for any members of our community who were not able to attend any one of our 3 community forums, so that they have the opportunity or the convenience of their own home or wherever they have an internet connection to watch the video. It's about a 7-8 minute video that gives the why and provides the information of our need to definitely consider this, think about this, and possibly need to consolidate a school. We are also about a month or 2 away within June, more likely like in July, of completing our facility needs assessment, and that is a big component of a consideration of the conditions of our schools and the needs assessment on our facilities. And once we have that data, once we get that report, that would also be a part of our process. We do plan of having additional in-person meetings to once the facilities report comes up and we are able to have more information, to have a more, like I said, in-person meetings with the community, and provide more information, share more information, communicate and explain more of the information that we are receiving. So I just wanted to provide that quick update on school consolidations, and more to come in the near future.
Thank you, Mr. Jimenez. Any comments, team? Okay, thank you, Mr. Jimenez. And 2, the school renaming update.
Yes, so I'm pretty exciting news. A couple months ago at a board meeting, we talked about the need, not for a positive reason, but the need to change the name of Cesar Chavez Elementary School. And at that point, I went through a thorough process of explaining the process we would take to get input from our school, from our students, from our parents, from different stakeholders within the Calexico Unified School District. And then I said, once we come up with the top names through that process, we want to engage the entire community of Calexico Unified School District and allow anyone within the city of Calexico, anyone within the Calexico community to make a selection. We're gonna working with Mr. Perez and Informational Technology. We're putting together a survey and we're gonna send that survey out, and we're gonna say these are the top names that I'm gonna share right now. These are the top names that came up through the process that has been that was previously explained and described. And this is your opportunity to share with the Board of Education which name you like the most of these names. And when we're going to open the survey, we want to have it open for from one Friday over the weekend to the following Friday. So, we have plenty of time, and we'll advertise it. We'll say, hey, if you want to participate, go to this link and submit your responses, and then we will bring those results. Well, 60% of the community voted for this name, and 40% voted for that name, or 30-60, or 80-20, or 50-50, whatever the outcomes are going to be. And as I had explained, when we went through the process, it's a poll, it's a survey. We will get the results, but at the end of the day, it is the board's a final decision, and to make the final vote on that, to take the final vote on either one of the names. So today I'm going to reveal that there was top two names that came out of the entire school process at at Cesar Chavez Elementary School. And the top two names that came out were, in no particular order, was Desert Valley Elementary School was one of the names, and the other name was Roberto Moreno Elementary School, whom many of us may know that Roberto Moreno was a long-time teacher, principal, administrator, very respected and admired, and we could at one point later maybe share the story and provide a lot more details. But for the purpose of tonight and for the purpose of this update, those are the two names that we are going to be sharing with the community very, very soon, and asking the community for their input, and we will be bringing that back. The intentions is to bring the results of that survey for our next board meeting, June 25th, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it.
Just again, going down further, is the idea then to start the school year off with a new name or process with the CDE?
No, the idea would be that we should have enough time to be able to start the school year with the new name, and then start to transition. There's a lot of things that would have the old name that we would have to change over. One of the things that we talked about is to provide students use like a school spirit shirt as a part of their uniform, or on School Spirit Fridays or whatnot, is to provide all students and staff with a T-shirt of the new name, and just to help facilitate the transition into the new name, whichever one that may be. Yeah, this is only for the name. It doesn't change the mascot. So the mascot is still the Lobos. After, when it's all said and done, it would either be the Desert Valley Elementary School Lobos or the Roberto Moreno Elementary School Lobos.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Jimenez, for that update. So, just for clarification, these two names came from the school, right? Including students,
Yes.
parents, staff.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there was three groups that were part of it. There was a parent group where parents were invited to participate. All parents were invited, and those parents who were interested in participating and wanted to participate had the opportunity to go to the school and participate in their parent meetings. My understanding is like there was 2 or 3 parent meetings that came up with their final through a process of elimination. There could have started with multiple names, and at the end of the day they came with their final determination. And then every classroom held their own vote, if you will, right? Every classroom selected a name, every individual classroom. And then all the names were then taken by grade level. And so then, like let's say if we have 4 first grade classrooms, right? Every one of those 4 classrooms voted on one name each. So they ended up with 4 names. And then the entire grade level as a grade voted on those 4 names, and then they selected one of those 4 names. And so we did that with every grade level from TK through 6th grade. And at the end of the day, that ends up in 7 names or something. And there was then those names were taken, and there was an election for the entire student body at Cesar Chavez. And the entire student body voted on one name, just like the parents had done in their process, and the students went through that process. And then we had a committee, and the committee consisted of I don't have the breakdown, but it was like 2 parents, 2 students, the principal, classified school employee, a certificated school employee, 2 district level employees. We had Ms. Elisa Ramirez participate as one of the representatives from the district. We had one of our secretaries here in the district participate in that committee, and so then that committee went through their process. So it was school-based. That started focused on the community of that school site, right? And the direct stakeholders of that school site. And so they came up with the final two names. There was a tie. Two groups came up with the same name, so it would have ended up in three names. But the parent group, the student group and the committee group the parent group and the student group came up with the same name, and so we ended up with two names because we had a repeat, right? And so so those were the top two names. Like I said, Desert Valley Elementary School and Roberto Moreno Elementary School. And we'll be sending those two names out to the community and seeing what the results are of those.
Okay. So these two names came from the students as well, right?
Yes,
Well,
in
one
part,
of them, at
in
least,
part,
yeah.
yes,
In
in
part,
one
yeah.
of them, yeah.
So the parents.
Yeah,
At
actually,
one point, one of these names was in one of the grade levels.
from yes,
In the school? Okay.
yes, because the name did come from the students and from the student group and the parent group, and then the another of the names came up from the committee group.
Okay. All right. Good. Yes, I mean everybody's voice is super important, but the kids' voice is the most important, in my opinion. No? But they say matters a little more in this situation because it's their school, right? All right. Any comments, questions? No. All right. Thank you, Mr. Jimenez. Okay. H. Action items. Consideration and action approval of the following items. 1. Adoption of job descriptions, curriculum and instruction specialist, and teacher on special assignment, MTSS. Do you have a motion to approve?
So move.
I second the motion. Comments, questions? No? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 4-0. Agreement between Calexico Unified School District and CVent for an online scheduling system for certificate staff development. A motion to approve with a question.
I'll second.
Right? Mr. Jimenez, so I'm familiar with the CVent is for, typically they use this for conferences and so forth. Are we looking into holding our own conferences?
Yes, absolutely. And what we want to do too is we want to provide professional development formats where staff members who are participating in professional development will be able to select from an option, a menu, if you will, of different workshops at that conference. So, for example, when we come back for our returning back to the school year, we all get together at a school site, and they would be able to use this platform to sign up, just like you're aware with it, to sign up to what workshop at that conference that they would want to go to. Being able to have this information ahead of time and allowing people to sign up, prior to the actual event is really helpful for us for planning purposes, for preparing supplies, materials, and organizing a better experience, PD experience for our staff. So, we believe that this could be very beneficial for us as we are looking at a professional development model that would replicate the same type of professional developments that you would see at, the larger conferences in San Diego or in, Anaheim or Sacramento. We want to mimic that type of professional development training experience here for us in Calexico. Even, for example, at the AVID conference that you just talked about, we had multiple strands that people would be able to sign up for, and they would help us prepare for PDs like that.
Okay, thank you. And then at a later date, you're going to give us information about the conference itself, who's doing it?
Sure,
or,
absolutely.
Yeah, later on, okay.
The 25th.
So right now we're just proving the app or the system, right? The platform to hold a conference.
If I can add as well, I had a question that was clarified for me as well on this item, and I was just understanding that it's a year-long subscription or service, not just a one-time, which is important. So as was mentioned for the back-to-school professional development day, but it could also be used for the parent conference, could be used for community school events or any other professional development trainings in the district throughout the year, which was important.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense, like what Ms. Limon does with the parents, all that, yeah, okay, the summits. Okay, any other comments, questions? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 4-0. Number 3, amended memorandum of understanding between Calexico Unified School District and High Tech High for the Race Network Initiative.
Motion to approve.
I second the motion. Questions, comments?
I'll just add, I had some questions and Mrs. Limon, addressed them for me. But again, as we talked about earlier with some of the initiatives here, research-based program, student-centered, we're just starting this. I think this is our second year. But again, looking at the data and future results and implementation, just to see what difference it makes. Again, we're targeting attendance, interventions, services, so that's important for us as we move forward.
Right, absolutely, Mr. Castillo. And if we improve our attendance by 1%, it's equivalent to about $1 million, right? So anything we could do to improve our student attendance, getting our kids to school, getting our kids to come every day, or to, well, I should say, or also attending Saturday school, to make up any absences. If we could do it by 1%, it's equivalent to approximately about $1 million. So if we increase our attendance from 94% to 95 or 95% to 96, it pays for itself 10 times over or more. So it's a great investment, and our attendance clerks, our principals, our staff are doing a great job in really communicating with parents, sending out the notifications, meeting with parents, really emphasizing the importance of being at school. And not only because of the funding, I know we talk about that and the percent and how much it's worth, but because also of the loss of learning, right? The learning loss. When kids are not in school, they're not going to learn that day. They're not going to pick up that material that's being covered in the classroom. So just as important, and more important is that as well.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Jimenez, for mentioning that. It is related to item 3, attendance. And yes, kids don't learn if they're not in school, but the funding, for example, the $1 million, again, is money that's used to invest back in their students for services and programs, right? So money is important, because without money, we cannot provide the services that kids deserve. So thank you. So is there a motion to approve?
Yes.
There's a motion, second. Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Approval of kindergarten state preschool program self-evaluation fiscal year 2025-2026.
Move for approval.
I'll second that. Comments, questions?
A comment again. So I think this has been the only program in the district for the last several decades, and a lot of great memories and staff and activities there. Reading through the PSC here, there was a comment mentioned that the district's in the process of closing out this contract. So I'd just like to share, just for the public, reason and rationale.
Right. So you're absolutely right, Mr. Castillo. Over the past decades, we had programs like preschool, which are very, very important programs. And a lot of those programs, and the programs are still around, were started before TK in the state of California. And so now, whereas before you had to turn 5, I believe it was by December 2nd or something like that, you had to turn 5, so you could kind of start as a 4th grader, but as a 4-year-old, but really in your last few months as a 4-year-old, because you had to turn 5 right away, right, when you started kindergarten. Well, now the TK program, we're taking 4th graders and even 3rd graders that turn, we're taking TKers, transitional kindergartners, at 4 years old, and even as 3 years old, within by a certain birth date. So we really are competing against ourselves, right? We really are competing against a full-time transitional kindergarten program as opposed to a part-time preschool program. In addition to that, we have other preschool options in Calexico Unified School District. Over at Mains Elementary, for example, we have the Imperial County Office of Education preschool program that's available for our community over at Jefferson Elementary School. And this is not based by school residents, right? It's open enrollment. Over at Jefferson Elementary School, we have a preschool run by the Riverside County Office of Education, alongside other preschools that are throughout the community. So in this preschool, for example, not because a lack of interest or anything like that, but because an overabundance of options, right? People could go, parents could take their preschoolers to other preschool programs within the community, or enroll them in transitional kindergarten and have them in school all day, right? In a full day program within a Calexico Unified School District. For example, I think we had I think it was like 15, 16 students in the morning and 8 students in the afternoon program. It was a half-day program. So, you know, and it was fully staffed at 3 or 4 staff members, a teacher, and 3 instructional assistants, I believe, or 2 instructional assistants. Yeah, 2 teachers and 3 instructional assistants. So, you know, 5 staff members for a classroom of 8 students in the afternoon, right? So we believe that we could, and it was grant funded and a lot of the money, but there's still a little bit of overhead on the district's half, right? But we think we could just refocus our energy and our target and our focus on our other preschool programs, our transitional kindergarten programs, and stay a little bit more focused on those and do a better job with that.
Okay. So we have a motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Were there any other comments? Sorry, Mr. No? Sure? Okay. Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Number 5, variable term waiver for Emily Elizabeth Flores Montenegro, speech and language pathologist for the 2026-2027 school year.
A motion to approve.
Second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Resolution for the Education Protection Account to establish spending determinations for the 2026-27 school year. Is there a motion to approve?
Move for approval.
I'll second.
Second. Questions or comments? Okay, resolution. So, Mr. Contreras?
Yes.
Mr. Castillo?
Yes.
Ms. Calderon?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Motion passes 4-0. Resolution for budget and cash transfer fiscal year 2026-2027.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, any questions or comments? No? Okay, Mr. Contreras?
Yes.
Mr. Castillo?
Yes.
Ms. Calderon?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Motion passes 4-0. 8, resolution regarding disposition of surplus asset, non-asset custodial equipment at Cesar Chavez Elementary. Motion to approve.
Second that.
Any questions or comments? No? Okay, Mr. Contreras?
Yes.
Mr. Castillo?
Yes.
Ms. Calderon?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Motion passes 4-0. 9, resolution regarding disposition of surplus asset, non-asset custodial and grounds equipment at maintenance and operations.
Move for approval.
I'll second.
Okay, questions or comments? No? Mr. Contreras?
Yes.
Mr. Castillo?
Yes.
Ms. Calderon?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Motion passes 4-0. Public comments, closed session items? Nope. All right, so announcement of convening into closed session. Yeah. All right, see everybody later. Have a good evening.
Maybe.
Go home. No.